Okay, here's a disclaimer. It's just us in our group, so he will be switching between two roles, between the patient and the anti-vaxxer, and I'll be the nurse. Okay, ready? Hey, welcome in today, guys. So today we're going to be talking about vaccines, how they work, and why they're important. So you mentioned that you had some questions about the flu shot, and I know that you've also expressed some concerns about vaccines in the past. So let's get started with the basics. How do vaccines protect us?
I've heard that they train the immune system, but I'm not entirely sure on how.
Okay, yeah, so that's a great start. Vaccines work by introducing a weakened or inactivated germ, or maybe a germ and copies that genetic instructions, and they inject that into your body. So this will introduce antigens, which are the part of the germ that trigger an immune response. And your immune system will then produce antibodies and memory cells, which will provide active immunity. So if you're exposed to the real virus later, then your body can fight it off quick.
Okay, but how do we know if they're safe? I heard that vaccines can cause autism or it has harmful kind of chemicals in it.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. So let's address that. So vaccines undergo very rigorous testing before approval, including clinical trials with thousands of participants. And second, the idea that vaccines cause autism has been thoroughly debunked. A 1998 study linking vaccines to autism was retracted due to fraud, and numerous follow-up studies, including the one from the CDC with over 1 million children, found no link between vaccines and autism. The ingredients in vaccines, like preservatives, are there to keep them safe and effective.
Okay, so I understand how vaccines work, but what if I'm in the high-risk group? My mom says I have diabetes, and I've heard the flu shot isn't as effective for people with a weakened immune system.
Okay, yeah, great point. So vaccines are tested in different populations, including people with chronic conditions like diabetes. So while the flu shot might be less effective in some cases, it still provides a partial protection and reduces the severity of the illness. For high-risk individuals, we often recommend specific vaccines to ensure they're as protected as possible.
But natural immunity is better, right? If I get sick and recover, I'll be immune without needing a shot. And vaccines don't even stop you from spreading the virus, so why bother?
So natural immunity can provide protection, but it also comes with serious risks. For example, getting COVID-19 or the flu could lead to hospitalization or even long-term complications like heart problems or chronic fatigue. And as for spreading the virus, vaccines significantly reduce transmission, especially with updated boosters. The flu shot, for example, not only protects you, but also prevents you from spreading the virus to other people that may be vulnerable, like your mom. So, okay, let's talk about some of the pros and cons. On the pro side, vaccines are shown to save lives. They've eradicated diseases like smallpox and nearly eliminated polio. They protect communities, especially vulnerable populations like the elderly and immunocompromised. Some of the cons, though, there are usually going to be some mild side effects like soreness or maybe even a low-grade fever are both common but also temporary. A side effect that's more rare and serious can occur, like, for example, anaphylaxis from a vaccine can happen, but that's about 1 in 1 million doses.
Okay, but what about long-term effects? We don't know what vaccines do to our bodies decades later.
So vaccines have been used for centuries, and their safety is well documented. For example, the MMR vaccine has been studied extensively, and no long-term negative effects have been found. The benefits of vaccination far outweigh the risk. And look, I get it, vaccines can feel overwhelming. There's a lot of misinformation out there, but the science can be very clear that vaccines do save lives, and as mentioned before, they've eradicated diseases like smallpox and polio. So even if you're hesitant, I do encourage you to look more into it, consult a doctor, and weigh the facts and stuff.
I'm still not sure, but I'll have to look into it, but thanks for the information. I think I'll get the flu shot this year. It makes sense to protect my family.
Okay, awesome. So we can schedule your guys' next appointments for when you need to come in. And just remember that vaccines are one of the most powerful tools we have to protect ourselves and our community.